Hello, I'm Robin Vincent and welcome back to another session with the Deckard's Dream. Oh yes, giving it another crack. Yeah, trying to find the time. So where are we? How long ago was it? And what did we do last? Well, let me tell you. The last thing we did, officially the last thing we did was these connectors, the power supply board and the rear panel connector. But then at the end of last year I did a modular DIY week, and in that week I did a session on the Deckard's Dream where I began the task of doing the voice cards. These fellas here, I have 8 of these because it's an 8-voice synthesizer, and each one requires its own board, its own synthesizer essentially on a board, which is what these are. Now in the live stream, which went over a couple of hours, I got the surface mount done and a small handful of resistors in that time. But I was chatting and enjoying myself, and I wasn't going particularly fast, but it just goes to show that it's still quite a large job. I have 8 of these to do. However, since that live stream, I did sit down and I finished an entire voice card. I didn't do it on video, I just sat down and did it. I kind of figured it would be great to have like a template, because it wasn't that easy following exactly where everything should go. And so I figured, let's just do one. Let's get one out of the way, and then I'll be able to use that to guide me in making all the rest. Because it probably makes more sense to do the other cards all at once, to do it as like a production line, so that I can place a handful of resistors on one and place them in the same place on the other one, so I'm not trying to re-find the same space all the time. Does that make sense? But of course, blocking out the sort of time I'm going to need to do another 7 voice cards is also a bit of a scheduling problem. So anyway, I've got an opportunity, I thought, right now to do a little bit more on this, and I am inspired also because Black Corporation sent me a Deckard's Voice on sort of loan for my Eurorack. Deckard's Voice is a Eurorack single voice version of the Deckard's Dream, and it's lovely. It's lovely. So being inspired by that and thinking I must get this synthesizer finished because it's going to be a glorious thing if it works, of course. But of course it is going to work. Absolutely, it's going to work. So I figured it's just an act of sheer will to sit down and attempt to do some of this. And so I am. I imagine today, my plan, it would be awesome if I was able to do all the surface mount, because there's a lot. There's a lot. You see all those little doubles of pads there? Those are all surface mount capacitors. And it took me on the live stream about an hour to do one of these. I reckon I can do better than that if I'm not explaining it as I go. So I'm going to have a go at steaming through all the surface mount. And then on another day, I'll try to do all the resistors or something. There's a lot of resistors, a lot of capacitors. It's an entire synthesizer in itself. Whew, what a thing. So this continues to be an enormous challenge. But once the voice cards are done, I've just got to put the thing together and then program it and then turn it on and stuff. And then it should all just work. So, this is the final hurdle. I'm also slightly worried that this stuff has been knocking around my workshop for so long that it's liable to get broken or snapped or trodden on. Something bad's going to happen. And it's awful. Awful it is to have it knocking around unfinished. But it's a big job, and you can't underestimate how many hours you need to put in to make it a reality. And I'm a busy boy, Anyway, enough talk. The plan with this video is just to move on through the surface mount and then see where we get to. I'll see if I can come up with something interesting on the Deckard's Voice to accompany the time-lapsed soldering. So I'm sorry, Steve, out there, I'm not going to be doing this in real time. I'm going to be experiencing it in real time. You will experience it in very much faster time. And hopefully with some lovely accompaniment from the Deckard's Voice. Right then. I'll see you on the other end. I'm on the last one. It's all gone rather swimmingly well, and I think I'm into the swing of things. So I thought we should. You should join me. You should join me for this last one. Voice card number 8. Let's see if we can do this one. Let's do this one together in real time, man, so we can all experience the joy of surface mount soldering, which I have to say I've got down now to a fine flipping art. I mean, it still looks a bit messy, but the actual process is fantastic. I mean, stick some decent music on and it's just a lovely time. You'll need your goggles. I will need my goggles, obviously. And I'm just feeling really chilled. It's been lovely. I mean, how long does it take me? 2 hours? 2 hours to do 7 or 6 at the moment, but about to be 7 cards. That's alright. That's alright, I reckon. Now, these are our crazily small surface mount capacitors. The last batch. I need to go into my tin. I found one. Oh, over there like that a little while ago, which makes me worry. But I'm just going to absolutely assume that I have the right number and I haven't lost any anywhere stupid. And it's all going to be fine. Good, good. That's my pot of stuff. Take that out of the way. So what I've been doing it sort of in batches, although every card's been a little bit different. So I'll do a number which are in the same orientation to make it easy to do and also too easy to see where I've got to. So using my flux pen here, I'm just going to mark a whole bunch of these sideways ones here. And I'll do them together. I then just put a blob of solder on the right hand pad of each one. So, clean the tip. Then this is possibly the magic bit, because what I've discovered is that surface mount components, or at least these capacitors, they want to be soldered. They want to be soldered to the point that you can place it down, heat up the pad, and it kind of throws itself in there. It gets pulled in. Gets absorbed by the solder, and sometimes it just needs a little push, which of course gives you the opportunity to twang it all over the place. I mean, even when it's at a funny angle, you can just heat the solder and it pulls itself in like it wants to be there. It's just awesome. Just shoots in there. It says, "Give me that solder." Straightens itself up. I mean, the only reason that they're all a bit askew is because I then give it a little poke, because I'm certain that I can do slightly better. See this one? Not having it. Because if you don't put your tweezers on it while you pull away with the soldering iron, it might yank it about, but not always. See the way that pulled that straight? Isn't that just magnificent? Easy, right? So then I need to solder the other side, so I'll just turn it 90 degrees. So I find that the easiest place to solder from. Put a little dab, heat the pad, little dab. Doesn't need hardly anything. There's that lot done. Then while I'm here, I will paste up another bunch. I mean, the flux pen cleans it and means that the solder's going to flow, but it also shows you what you're doing and where you're going, which is very handy. So I'm going to do that bunch. Then I daub on some solder. Now I've been listening for the last 2 hours to first of all Utopia Strong, Steve Davis's band, their latest album, which is kind of 2 tracks of live jamming, each one about 20 minutes each. It's just beautiful, beautiful. Then after that I've been listening to ambient jams by a guy called Rain, H-E-Y-N-E or something like that. Just beautiful, absolutely sublime. It's kind of like all the best melancholic bits from Blade Runner. Just superb. I can listen to it all day. So that's a bunch of solder on. Pick up me what's it, present it, heat the solder, sometimes have to squish it down a little bit, and the bleeding thing's on. Just like that. The hardest bit of all this is picking the blighters up. There's something in the magnetic orientation of whatever tin I use that means that they're never the right way around to pick up by my tweezers. They're always the other way around. Oh. And it just pulls it in. It's really remarkable. Whoops. If it hadn't been for the Deckard's Dream, I never would have tackled surface mount. I would have absolutely assumed it was too hard. But, you know, I'm pretty practiced at it now, I suppose. Although, I mean, each time it's a mess. I'm not saying it's not a mess. You'd get a much needed job if you did it, you know, in an oven or whatever it is you're supposed to do with surface mount to do it properly, like. But hey, this is working for me. And it feels like regular soldering. So, you know, so it's fun. It's enjoyable. Why would you want to miss out on that by sticking the bloody thing in an oven? Where's the fun in that? Or using some kind of heat gun? Why not just buy it fixed in the first place? Anyway. But take it from me, it's not hard. It's fiddly, yeah, sure. Oh, hard on the neck, yeah. But it's not hard. Right, let's do another bunch. In fact, there's only a couple more of these now. I could do all of the rest of those. Yep. Splash of solder. Always round the wrong way. Always. Perfect. You know, I haven't heard next door's rooster for a long time. I reckon they've done it in. Ooh, good, good. Turn it again. Solder the top bits. Where was I? This side? Yep. Good, then let's finish off. And it just pulls it in. I think my last remaining smaller light is on the blink. All the others died about 6 months ago. This one is soldered on. Gonna have to come up with a new overhead solution. Didn't realise I had such a short life. I mean, you know, they've been running for a couple of years. That's great. But I expect them to run all the time. Is that it? Is that it? Yeah. Right, let's solder the tops. Yeah, smashing, right? So there. Ooh, everything's a bit stiff. So there are all 7 cards. 1, 2, 3. Try not to get them too scratched with each other. 6, 7. And then number 8, that is all done. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's just awesome. So a couple of hours is all it took to do all of those. Now I'm on to all the through-hole stuff, all the capacitors, resistors, IC holders. Then it will be done. Lovely. Just need to find somewhere safe to put them. So there you go. That's a chunk. That's another step on our way to having a proper 8-voice polyphonic Deckard's dream of a synthesizer. Got a couple of those little fellas left. Not sure what to do with those. Maybe I'll put them in the little bag. Maybe that's the best place. Yeah, because that will tell me what they are, won't it? And I found that with the surface mount, SynthCube tend to give you a few extra, just in case one goes twang, or because they just count them out in 50s rather than 49s, as there's 49 on each of these, so I should have 8 left. Yeah, that's what I've got. Superb. So there we go. That'll do, I think, for the moment. So that's another episode on the road to sorting out the Deckard's dream. I hope that was useful or interesting or something. Now I'm going to go and make some interesting music on the Deckard's voice in order to accompany the soldering. And until next time, go make some tunes.